Give me a second. Okay, we are live, and what an amazing way to bring in the 9th-year anniversary of Binance, and at the same time with someone who has been in this space for a while. When I say a while, it's like for a while, because the way we measure the years in crypto is basically, I think, perhaps in dog years, because 1 year in human life, perhaps in the crypto, is about 3 or 4 years. Let me tell you something that Binance 9th-year anniversary from a very scrappy launch in 2017 to 323 million users. With a stated goal of 3 billion, which is like twice the population of India, which is the most populous country in the world. This one is a wild tech boom with us. I love his name, though I know his real name now, but I still love his pseudo name that he used back in the day, and he still uses it. Well, I love the boom. I love the energy that he always brings into. He has been one of the earliest investor in BNB and a firm believer who actually bought, I think, BNB under $1 on pure conviction. And easy himself, because he actually brought in real trust back in the day, early investor in multiple tokens, and Forbes 40 under 40, and still one of the most respected voices in the industry. Elja, what a legend you are. I've never told you that in person, but let me tell you this here.
First of all, thank you very much for having me in the show. And Ali is one of the also OGs in the space. He played many different narratives in the space. I believe he started the beginning as a comedian, which I still love that part when he just do he was actually, let's say, the real version of meme coins, but in real life he was doing this funny shows and making crypto easy for people to understand. When he had that big mustache, I don't know if you guys remember it or not, but now he's like more former now TV show. And yes, you're doing amazing. And yeah, I purchased BNB below $1. That's true. I miss the old days of BNB chain when it was the only chain after Ethereum. And yeah, now we have so many chains, big community, etc. But life changed. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. I think about 8.5 years ago, maybe you got into BNB chain as an early investor. I would love to know what made your conviction strong, because there are a lot of tokens that we get into, but maybe if I may call you a BNB maxi, uh, tell me what actually went in to you to bring in and hold BNB, and I'm sure you're still holding BNB till now.
Uh, I was on Twitter back in the days. Twitter used to be not as crazy as now, not as boring as now, not as random as now. So things were more justified, qualified to a certain extent. Of course, we had the crazy projects, crazy people, but not as today. Today it became more as a casino more than anything else. So yeah, what it attracted me is number one, CZ. Of course, he has a spoken character back in the days where his influence was huge in the market. He was like more into utility, etc. plus his story coming from this industry already. He didn't just come and launch a token or thing. Choosing, of course, EVM on top of that, that was something extremely important. And the mechanism of the chain of BNB chain, where you have, let's say, I forgot the word, uh, signatures, but I forgot the word. So basically, some people are having the capability to force the chain, and yes, it was that type of opportunity. So of course, it was a good thing to jump in, and it was a great journey. I cannot complain.
Absolutely. Who can complain? Uh, did you have time now? Please be honest, right? Did you have times that you wanted to liquidate BNB for whatever reason, market FUD, or you wanting to get in some liquidity? Because holding on a token for close to about 9 years is like real deal, man.
Um, In the past, no, because number one, who knows me, they call me serious investor because like I'm an extra bit of a diamond hand, which is most of the time is not really good. So I don't advise that part. I advise to not be emotional and be more practical, where you take your profit, or at least you take your initial investment, some profit on top of that, and leave a moon bag. But don't just go wait for with your own capital and everything as a moon bag. Glad on BNB it was a good case, but in majority is not really good. So yeah, and BNB, no, I've never had this feeling. I was holding all the time holding it. But recently, my entire perspective in the space in the last year has totally changed because the space changed. It's became today a casino where it's not really working, or utility projects where there's no retailers are there to buy it. So the only thing today remaining, in my humble opinion, or the new era of this space is becoming tokenized assets where people are just getting dividends. Yes, it's not going to give you the 100x, but it will give you at least way more than the bank can give you without losing your capital. So I think the space is getting matured, and yeah, meme tokens will always stay, but I don't
Matured or
think
boring? Matured or boring?
boring. Matured is boring. So it's becoming like you're going to the office, right? I mean, if we've been honest, why we didn't go to forex? Why didn't we go normal IPOs and normal assets? Because crypto allowed us to have that faster gain, crazy community, crazy vibes, crazy emotions, and also allowed everyone to participate. Now with DeFi, CeFi, all this, people can just participate even and in stock market, right? You have gold, you have silver now in DeFi. So even 5 years old, if he has a DeFi wallet, he can just trade. So yeah, I mean that edge or that gap is becoming step by step mm, doesn't exist. So the barrier of entry became easier. So yes, it's becoming mature to a boring level. Yes, I agree.
Since today is such an epic day for Binance, and you have been closely associated with them. In fact, the internal joke is that Elja knows more people in Binance than the employees in Binance know themselves. But with with the Binance hitting 323 million users in 9 years, and wants to hit 3 billion, with the ongoing global regulation and pressure, and especially with what CZ went through, do you think centralized exchange will still have the real moat, or will on-chain everything plus DeFi will make them irrelevant in the few years?
That's a good question. Can I answer it? I don't think so. Yes, regulations are there, and it doesn't mean regulations cannot come to DeFi, because at the end they can just regulate the apps being an Apple Store and Google Chrome and blah blah blah. Yes, people are gonna find other ways to list these apps where they want to be far from regulators, but yet an off ramp and on ramp, you still can be watched and seen. So I don't think this is the main issue. The biggest issue in DeFi is security. Till now, in the last year we've seen tons amount of hundreds of millions being exposed to hackers and DeFi. So till now, DeFi is not matured. Till now, DeFi is not safe. Now, hopefully, AI will play a role in protecting people from the DeFi world. That would be actually now. When I'm thinking, just came to my head. I mean, I don't know if someone did it or not, but I think that will be a very smart era where some people will launch a DeFi AI agent where protects any user before clicking on something by scanning it, etc., etc., and just warning or have an anti-attack to mainware and all this. That would be, I don't know if someone done it or not, but I mean, yeah, that would be something good to start with, let's say.
Well, to be honest, I think scammers have become so sophisticated. Um, of very good friends of mine, Telegram got hacked, and I received a message saying that hey, he's got something for me and wants to get on a call. He sends me a Teams link. So I think anybody using Teams, we got to be careful. That's the first thing. So he sent me a legit Teams link, and I was like,
Ask you to
okay,
download a file.
yes. And but before it asked me to download a file, on the video I can actually see my friend. He says this can't can't hear you. Okay, which is like the universal symbol of saying that the audio is not coming through. And then there are two other people who are on the call, and because he deals with a lot of Chinese, and I thought, oh, okay, it may be legit. So I downloaded the file, but I did not run the SDK file because I knew there was something absolutely off. I wanted to copy the meeting ID and put it on my Teams, on my Microsoft Teams, and it said no meeting exists. I copied the link, put it on Gemini and Grok to check. It said it's legit. However, the catch was that the moment you click on the ID, it the domain changes from Teams to Terms, but that is after you click the ID. So that level of sophistication, I don't think people can really avoid. You have to be very careful. You might as well get on a call with somebody, even if you know them, right? Like Elja and I have been friends for a few years, but then we need to meet in person, or we need to talk on the call, and we need to figure out that hey, I want you in and stuff. So just be careful, everyone. Elja, coming. Yes,
Just to
please.
give an advice in this part, because it's happening a lot. It happens to me.
Yeah,
It happened to everyone. The easiest way, if someone coming to you, even if he's a friend of you and telling you long time, let's have a call, and then he give you the calendar to book a date, try to make the first call using your iPhone device, not a laptop. And then based on that, he will tell you that, oh, can the link is not going to work. And then he will tell you, let's use, what's it called? Let's use a desktop. And that's the red flag. No one would tell you use a desktop to have a call. The call should be a call. So then you know there is something going wrong.
yeah.
Please.
Unless it is me, because I prefer my guest on the laptop because it's slightly easier. But then I will send you a legit link from StreamYard. Elja, let's talk about you bought BNB under $1 when most of the people were skeptical of calling it a centralized exchange that has no future. Now it's at 570. It earlier went almost to $1,000, and even as of now, it's the growth is of a few thousand percentage. With Vanik launching a US BNB ETP, do you think BNB is still undervalued relatively, or its actual utility and ecosystem activities has the market correctly priced post the CZ risk?
See, that's a question that, let me say it this way. Maybe some people will not like it.
Elja,
BNB
you're
as a chain.
known to speak your mind. That's what I love you, right? So please don't try and be soft now.
I would just say it in a softest way, but the message is the same.
No, no.
No, it's in a soft way, but the message is the same. I believe BNB, one of the greatest chains, old enough, secured enough, The problem, in my opinion, is there is not good wallets support EVM beside, let's say, Rabi. Rabi is mainly for DeFi. It's not for fast trenches. What made Solana jump hard is Phantom. Phantom is really a great wallet, made the easiest focus as a wallet. The problem in the EVM wallets, they are more into DeFi, staking, adding so many features into the wallet to a point. It is sophisticated for fast retailer, which is your majority of your community today. So that's the first problem in my humble opinion. Second problem, I believe the BNB team, they are okay. But the previous team on BNB, which is used to be BSC and then we became BNB, I believe they were more passionate on the success of the chain because they are actually a part of buying maybe BNB at the beginning. They were there at the beginning. Today, the entire space a bit changed more as an employees more than passionate people. And when you have an employee, he will just do his job, maybe a little bit extra. But when you have passionate people, they will do it with love, right? Like, let's say, how many people, like, you will never find people who love CZ as the people who were with him at the beginning. Until today, they are here. At least if they disagree with him, but they still respect him and love him from inside. But the new people know just one plus one equal two. If I make money with Binance or CZ, they are cool. If someone else is gonna give me money, I'll just sell Binance and CZ, go for the next person, right? So yeah, the space is totally changed. It's becoming more, as we said, boring and matured, and systematic people more than passionate. And systematic does not generate or get you innovation or creation. Systematic just get you day to day job.
Very, very well said. Now, you have praised CZ as being very simple, real, no noise, and especially the culture that CZ has built. He is a true global icon, and I don't think the entire crypto community got on together for anybody else that I can think of. But in terms of supporting CZ when he was convicted in the AML case, by the way, the eve that he was convicted, the next day I actually had a podcast with Yatsiu, the chairman of Annie Yamoka, and
Only
we
welcome.
exactly spoke about that, and we spoke about the biggest news. We spoke about CZ being held for AML and KYC. What Yat told me actually kind of woke me up because he said that nobody ever has gone behind the bars for AML and KYC. They got they did get a slap on the wrist like Deutsche Bank and the other bank, and they had to pay a very very heavy fine, like in a few. It's gone from a few $1 million, few $100 million to maybe one or
A
two billion
billion.
dollars. But Seeley's punishment was quite serious comparatively to his TradeFi counterparts. Uh, but then Yat also said, and I'm kind of paraphrasing it, that I think the government kind of took crypto seriously, and which I mean by the U.S. government took crypto seriously because back then we didn't have the regulations, and with Gary Gensler in the heading the SEC
Yeah.
was a very different ball game back then. So do you really think that perhaps CZ was given a more tougher treatment compared to his trade fi counterparts?
Of course, I mean, but again, to be fair with the other people, they weren't as big as CZ. It's normal. CZ, when he played this game, I'm quite sure he calculated this type of risks because if you want to be the biggest, the fastest, etc., of course it will come with consequences, right? And that's why when the issue happened, he was the one traveling to the US. He was not he didn't get cut in airport and or deported and sent to the US. No, he went with his own feet, and that requires balls of steels, let's say. And
Absolutely.
yeah, and it was for his favor because I cannot say again anyone at a big level. definitely there are mistakes being happened.
Yeah,
Definitely. Like
yeah.
there is no chance. I'm not gonna fucking bullshit and I'll say something not real.
No,
But
also
let's
I think
say,
when you're moving at that speed, things are going to fall and break, right? Which is
yeah,
going to
yeah,
happen.
mistakes will happen, and it will keep happening if you want to always be the first, the biggest, whatever. But let's say this industry has a lot of unclean people. Uh, let's say CZ is not one of them, but it doesn't mean he didn't make mistakes. Yes, he made mistakes.
Very well said. But then, I think the way Binance grew back in the day was through a lot of affiliates, and in the start, they did have a level of multi-level marketing, which generally is looked down upon. But then, when I see in India, a majority of the population after a certain age, maybe 35 plus, got to know about crypto through multi-level marketing, and it's still very high in the space of in countries like India, Malaysia, Southeast Asia. That's at least what I know. uh, though we as a crypto community perhaps look down upon multi-level marketing, but I think getting the initial set of users, Binance did a great job. And I've been told, I don't know if it is true or not, that even till date people get paid in either in Bitcoin or either in BNB for the initial set of referrals that they had. So how do we play this game? For a young project, should they look at bringing the initial numbers through a multi-level marketing, and then perhaps uh, wipe their hands clean and then say, what, whatever's running, it'll run that ways, but then we are now going to move it towards affiliate and KOLs. Like, how does one play that game? Because and the reason why I'm asking you this is because you advise a lot of projects yourself, and some of the biggest projects, you are a key advisor with them. What is the right way, perhaps in 2026, to launch one?
The industry told, like, see, number one, the multi-level marketing, etc. It's a very famous Asian culture. So it's not famous globally. It's really famous in the Asian culture, which is the multi-level marketing. Yet it's not always considered legal because it depends how you structure it. So again, many of them structure it in the illegal way just to gain the users and try to maximize as max as they can, especially if the financial instrument was there. But today, in my humble opinion, if you are a builder or you have a project to build, what was crypto giving you in the past will give you fast raise, right? You can raise very fast because you can raise from everyone, blah, blah, blah. It will give you audience because you have the audience in crypto are easy barrier of entry and they're all on social media. So they're all like, let's go, let's go, let's go. But at the end, you put the token outside, the price goes up and then goes down. And then you have, if you are smart, you will have a treasury management, yada, 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 and you build your treasury. But most of them were bad actually in building the treasury. But now the entire space changed. Now, if you have an idea or a project, you should not, in my humble opinion, you should not launch a token. You should not get investors in the token. You should not even do SAFT anymore. You should go back to Web 2, safe note, where you do like something like a pre-seed round and then a seed round, and then you grow with your valuation and blah, blah, blah. The moment you generate dividends, it means the moment you can actually generate dividends, and let's say it's way bigger than, not way bigger, let's say higher than what banks can give you, that's the moment you can switch to crypto because now you have the engine that generates you profit. Now you can always buy the token. So why you come? Okay, you tell me, okay, if I'm generating money and I'm having blah blah, why the fuck I come crypto now? It's very simple because crypto will give you the audience and will give you the exposure where you can make more and more partnerships and all this, and then you can go faster to IPO because IPO is mix of revenue, mix of exposure. When exposure is going to give you partnership, globally partnership, because you have audience now buying you from everywhere in the world, and they are eager to find a way. But the question is, would you make a utility token? You make a security token? Now with the Trump administration, it's becoming easier to have a security token. So you're smart to move in there. And yeah, my focus a lot in Web2, like Time Guardian, Ether. Maybe you're gonna have it as well. Like it's an ADGM
She,
listed company. It's a Web2
she,
company.
she's coming tomorrow, and she'll also put out some comments for you.
That's amazing. She's like I think 20 years in banking. One of the biggest banks here in UAE. The company is fully licensed, fully compliant. Um, she's just using the blockchain as a technology. There is no tokens. There is no crypto people inside. Let's fucking go. This is not there yet. Once at some level, maybe the exposure to Web3 will be more considered. Maybe not. No one care at that time because if the company generating revenue and the life is great, yes, you can focus there.
What I want to talk about uh, further with you is, since you mentioned about IPO, uh, the bigger exchanges, right? Like Coinbase and Kraken are not looking to launch their token, but they're looking to go the IPO route. Do you think majority of the projects have misread the narrative, or do you think IPO is the way and tokens not? Because unfortunately, in our industry, once your token goes bust, uh, the first cycle, second cycle, you're somewhere termed as a scammer. Even if you haven't scammed, which is very unfortunate.
True.
Absolutely not the narrative that one should follow. I think one should follow the narrative of SF, because your project is failed, but not you as an individual. Which I think we only see that in the West, but not in Asia or not in Southeast Asia, which is very unfortunate. Uh, do you think launching a token in 2026 is one of the worst moves that you can do? Exactly like learning software in 2026 is one of the worst moves or worst advices that you can give to a youngster.
Yeah, I just answered you before. You had the liquidity coming in. What is missing in this cycle, or the cycle even before the cycle ends in the last cycle? What is missing is new retailers, then liquidity. Now we don't have new retailers and we have no liquidity. Remember, every cycle we had retailers coming in, new retailers. Every cycle. The last cycle we did not have. We just have the same liquidity was just passing left and right through meme coins. That's the reason why we couldn't see, for the first time in this industry, we could not see a utility season. We never had an alt season in the last season. Never had an alt season. If we have one, two random, it doesn't mean this is an alt season. It's just a random shit. So we did not
Now,
have. We
back
only
in
had
2022, everything was popping. Everything was popping.
that. That is true. But at that time, we didn't have a lot of meme coins as well. But the cycle came, no new retailers, but liquidity. So they decided to shift their liquidity based on the hype, where meme tokens, some made money, a lot lost money. That's normal. But the altcoins, we've never seen an altcoin season due to these facts. Now we're entering to an era where there is no liquidity and there is no new retailers, right? That's why you are looking at exchanges in crypto. They're all switching to become Forex. If you went every exchange now, it's just becoming Forex. Even the staff in many exchanges now are no longer crypto staff. They're not even looking at crypto influencers now. They're looking at Web2 influencers, Forex, gold, Bitcoin, Ethereum, like all the ETFs, yada, yada, yada. But the industry changed. Also, one of the biggest reasons the utility died or altcoin died was due to exchanges. Because when a utility project, as you just said right now, need to pay for every exchange, a shitty tier 3 exchange, they need to pay 100K. And a medium exchange, they need to pay a 500K, a half a million fucking dollar. And then goes to up to $2, $3 million in big exchanges. And that is for them is impossible, right? If you're building a Web2 company or you want to have a treasury and this is just go to the exchange, it means how can you build your product? So the
And
exchanges are
let's not forget
extremely.
the cost of compliance.
I mean, if you're gonna go with Mecca, but again, Mecca is Mecca, regulations, regulations. But I'm talking about regulations are Web 2. I'm talking about the people who participated in the failure of altcoins are the Web 3 exchanges. So they are from the same industry, but they applied the brutal rules on them. And of course, the most of them, like, just sad for me to see projects till today. They survived 2 cycles plus, but till now they are not in any tier one exchange. Till now, but they survive. They still pay their employees. They still try to continue the roadmap, and they don't give them a chance. Why? Because you don't have big volume like a meme token. You don't sitting in our, I don't know, uh, let's say pre-exchange, which some people are calling it alpha, some people are calling start, kick up start, whatsoever. And yes, of course, they're suffering here. Plus, they are not taking also money. Some of them they are taking from your supply, and that's not easy for project that been surviving for 3 years, right?
Absolutely. Very recently I got to know that uh, Bitgate and Gate uh, exchanges, I think they all come under the same umbrella. And
And I don't know about this information, but many exchanges, even non-KYC exchanges, unfortunate, they are owned by some regulated exchanges because you want to get users, right? So when you are regulated, you're losing most of the users. So what they do, they fire one of the team, or sorry, he resign, and then suddenly after 2 weeks, you find them the CEO of non-KYC exchange. So yeah, you have to figure out who's behind it.
yeah, because when I got to know it, and it kind of blew my mind. So are we seeing a monopoly of exchanges, and especially with the Chinese, right? Because I think they got into the game way early, like they are getting into the game of agentic AI. Uh, I know that you are also pretty active in China and Chinese communities. What is this about them, right? Because I'll okay. Let me confess. As an Indian, I think we did not pay attention to how China was growing, because back in the day we only saw China as someone who could actually just produce cheap plastic goods. Because in India we had China Bazaar, where people actually bought stuff for, at the current market value, $1. Like they would get a bucket, or stuff like that for your household. But when I went to China, it blew my mind. I'm like, wow. And the people, the work ethic, it's hats off. But again, what is about China's mindset that that I think the entire world is missing?
No, number one, Chinese, they don't sleep. They, like, when I say they don't sleep, literally they don't sleep. Number two, their work ethics is very high. So they are willing to work and find any opportunities. Number three, there is no rich for Chinese. So if you have $100, he's not rich. If you have $1 billion, he's mental, he's not rich. While if you give for other countries, if you give the person $500,000, he's just gonna retire. So that's the biggest key element here. Number two, that they don't care about regulations. It means, of course, not all of them. I mean, they rather just go and then deal with the regulations later. While if you look at European mindset, they're always stopping their head for regulations. Now, if you're
Right.
talking about India, since you're Indian, India, they always wait till the moment they become as an individual very big, and then he gets employed in the US by one of the big companies. Hopefully, recently some narrative changed because all these big tech companies they went to Ahmedabad, sorry Hyderabad, and they built their manufacturers there. So now many good Indians they don't need to leave India to have a good stable income. You look
No,
surprised
I
like we
think
don't know. Or
no, I think so. I'll tell you the thing with India is so. By the way, I always say this, and I'll say this now. Dubai is the best city in India, right?
in the world.
Because of course, in the world that's default. But the reason why I say it in India is because if you know Hindi or Urdu, you don't need any other language to survive in this country. Even the locals speak in Hindi. You actually have your, like, the moment you step out of your house, from your security guard to your taxi driver to your convenience store, everybody speaks Hindi. And the food here is far more better than what we get in India. And the only reason being the raw material here is controlled, and whatever UAE receives is always a higher quality, because when they open a container and if they find uh, rotten tomatoes, here nobody is going to shake hand with the inspector and give him 100 dirhams and say, it is all right. The entire container will be sent back, and the supply has to bear the cost, right?
True.
So clearly, the stuff that we get here is of a much higher quality. And also, the moment you make a certain amount of money in India because of the regulations, you slowly move to the UAE, and it is the closest to home. To any part of India, you can reach it there in 3.5 hours. I'm from Bangalore. It takes more time for most of us to reach from a house to the airport than to perhaps reach Dubai
True.
to Bangalore. But the 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 beauty of the ecosystem that the UAE has created, Dubai has created, is that you can meet people from all over the world, right? And I think that's hats off to the to the family who is running UAE, and we all need to learn from them. Moving away from there, let's talk about the day that you got doxxed by CZ. I think that was your first meeting. How did that go? Tell us about that, because I think CZ told you, you need to dox yourself to build trust. But back in the day, we had a mindset of using anonymous names and anonymous platforms, and all thanks to Satoshi Nakamoto, right? Because he kind of started the trend.
Uh, it was simple. I mean, I used to be anonymous because I used to work in, let's say, semi-government area. Plus, crypto was not allowed, or was like really, really gray to was really gray to dark, not gray to light. So I decided to use my gaming account. Uh, the first time I met CZ, it was not the first time I get doxxed. No, it was the first time CZ and Binance team see me in person, because they know Al Jaboom. They heard my voice, but they don't know how I look. The second time, he took a picture, told me that's docs, but not because trust. No, I had, alhamdulillah, I had my trust already there. You build the trust based on experience, not based on docs or not, based on let's say what people say about you. So if you're an anonymous, but everyone says, or almost everyone says good things, it's good to go. But he was doing it because he wanted to have, that little moment of fun. Like, I doxed this guy and he tweeted about it. If you ask me, did I like it at that time? Yes. If the time comes back, I would not dox myself. Why? Because I lost a bit of my freedom. Before, I was nobody when I walk in any place, right? Now when I walk, you see the good and you see the bad, and then everyone wants to have a part of your network or your capacity. Yeah, before, like, it's a very funny thing. Before, I was like one VC here. They had before CZ doxed me, actually, and the guy, like, was totally ignoring me. He didn't even he went to a group and shaked hand, and he passed me. Imagine, he passed shaking hand. But then when I was doxxed with CZ, he saw that because CZ tweeted to himself, and everyone has CZ on the notification, right? So second time, there's someone that's, oh, sorry, you've never told me about who you are. I didn't want to say hi in the beginning because I thought maybe you are private person and you do, like, what the fuck, dude? What do you mean? You didn't even shake hands with me, bro. You just
That
passed
is
me.
by far the most gold digging statement one can begin with, saying that I'm sorry, I didn't know who you are.
Anyways, so I mean, yes, it was the time, but I mean, being doxxed, being not doxxed is the same, but privacy, the part, like, I would rather visit the people when you are nobody. When people know who
I,
you are, it is hard to visit the people now because they are not showing you the real personality, right?
I at times feel embarrassed, but somehow Lord has been kind that most of the guys who I met in the space, like yourself, like Push Pendra, I didn't know y'all existed before that. uh, Maybe because of a different network of mine. And then once when I met you guys, and met you, there was an instant liking, a fun conversation, and that personality, especially for you, where it's outgoing, it's having fun, and those fun conversations. So for me it mostly has worked in that manner, and I'm glad that I can call you a friend. uh, let's talk
Alhamdulillah.
about let's talk about uh, a particular project that you were working on, and the devs rubbed the project, and you
One,
uh,
it's hundreds. That's like normal in crypto. You cannot say one.
okay, but this one that I'm talking about is that where you refunded the
Ah, yeah, there
guys.
is that one I refunded. Yeah, it was a team,
Yeah.
and then the CEO of this project. He's not a bad guy. That's why. Yeah, it was a crazy day. But then his
Tell
dev.
us about that.
Yeah, it was he did a pre-sale. I was one of the main people pushing his pre-sale. It was on Pink Sale. So it
Okay.
was there is a platform. So it was not like it was a platform handling the because I will not do I've never done and I will never do a pre-sale to a wallet without like having a third party because then you are carrying the legality of the KYC, AML, blah 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 blah. So Pink Sale, we're doing it. I told the guy, okay, I'll support you. And then his dev took the money and decided not to launch. So he called me and he started crying. I like, dude, what the fuck? I don't care about you fucking crying. It's like I made the fucking people. So I spoke to the CEO of Pink Sale. So then do you have all the wallets because it's on chain, you know? I said yes. I said, okay, how much is it? He told me 135,000 total raised, something like this. I just pulled the money from my Binance account. I gave it to him and he refunded everyone. And he made a tweet because he told me, dude, he was telling me, are you sure, Edja? Are you? Because it's not your problem. Are you sure? Are you sure? I said, dude, I just want to take this off my head. And then, because like in reality, it's not my issue, right? If they want to go fucking take the scammer, which is the dev guy. Especially I had
But
his identity after
why, Elja? Why did you give out back then 135,000, which could potentially
because
be $1 million in a few years?
uh,
Sorry to rub it in.
no, because at the no, because at the end, I don't see it. It can be $1 million. I see that you can also lose money in, bro. If it was like this, it means every initial money we have, it should be already $1 million. But we make a lot of mistakes jumping in this project, trading in a project that we get like I lost in one of the project a lot for now, which no one was expecting losing in, like Aster. Why we are going far? Like Aster, I lost big time so far. Uh, but it's not considered this way. It's considered the moment this happens, and the moment that you, since because I was the main guy pushing it. Let's say there were other people, but I was really the one heavily pushing it. I don't know. I just felt that I need to get it off my head and feel all right. So I just did it. Yeah, that's
That speaks so much of you. I think I also met you after that in your office, and it was unbelievable what you did. And I think people should not forget this, and they should go down in the history books that you paying back people who you don't even know, because you could have, like how I think Sod, right, the guy from Pink Sale, uh, told you
yeah.
that, hey bro, it is not your problem, and
They told me that
clearly, right?
several times, man. They told me that several times. I said, just do it. I don't want to keep thinking of it. Just finish it now. It got finished in 30 minutes or something and got announced. And then I think in the same day, he refunded everyone to his wallet. And the CEO, he was just crying. And the guy who took the money, he went to the police. They took him to the police, etc., etc. He refused to give the money. I think he would happy to be in jail and wait for this to come after. Yeah.
Well, again, I'm going to repeat myself. There are very, very, very few people. In fact, I think you can count them on your fingertips who would actually go ahead and refund the money, and perhaps you can't even count them on your fingertips. Uh, that somebody who was kind of pushing the project, going ahead and refunding the money to people, because I always say this is that we need to protect the people who are actually investing 50 $100, because it really means a lot to them. It could have potentially been the next meal. You may never know. It could have potentially been uh, something that they want to buy for their family, but they go ahead and they buy into the trust of personalities like Elja or CZ, and when they put in that money, they are doing it for one sole reason, which is to turn profit. And when that doesn't happen, it is really painful, and I'm sure we all have been in the dark space in our lives. Elja, let's talking about dark space. Which project has really put you in a dark spot in your life, where perhaps back in the day you lost everything and you were like, no, because I've always seen you as a very happy and as a very uh, outgoing personality, but I'm sure that you are also carrying a lot of pain inside of you.
I mean, see, the word pain is a very big word because I mean, you have to always be grateful, always to be grateful. People who are not grateful, even if they lost $100, if they lost $5 million, and they don't see what God gave them. Uh, in the other hand, they are not grateful, and these people will always not be happy whatever you make. Right? They will always want
True.
more and more and more. At the end, Alhamdulillah, you have an internet sitting in your place. I have an internet. You have a computer. I have some people don't even have water,
Mm.
right? Even water, you don't have it. People in places in Africa, they don't even know what is internet means. Imagine some people are living in the world like this. I will ask you one thing now: losing 100 million or losing two of your hands, which one you would rather have now? Now,
Elja, Elja, what you're saying at the time when it takes you to a dark spot, it's very difficult to remember, right? It is very, very difficult to remember. In hindsight, you can tell these things to yourself and practice gratitude, because you can either have gratitude or you can either have fear, and the only way that one can operate is under gratitude. I've been following this for close to a decade now, and I truly believe in what you're saying. But take us, because what you're saying right now, when somebody has been into the dark space, will absolutely believe in what you're saying, and I truly do. But then for somebody who perhaps hasn't yet been in that dark spot, might think that what you're saying is a random philosophy, which is not. But I want to ask you your personal experience of the dark spot
yeah,
that
well,
you
it's
were
very
in.
simple. We had in BNB chain, I forgot the year, 2020, 2021, one of them. We had a flash loan in BNB chain. The flash loan happened when even the entire chain stopped because BNB chain, you can't stop the chain. But when you say stop, it means you have to have some validator on the network. They all have to stop it at the same time or to pass the majority votes for the security reason. So it's not used for bullshit. And it was used at that time for that reason. We had a flash loan on BNB chain around 19 to 24 projects, something like that. They got flash loaned. And I had at that time around more than $90 million. That in 6 hours it became 200K. Not even liquidity for the 200K. And many people got flash loan. Many projects got, even some of them used to be inside Binance, like Burger Swap, I think. Burger Swap. Yeah, I think it was a swap also, like Pink Sale, like Pancake Swap. There
Uniswap,
is
Uniswap.
no, no, the one on the BNB chain. It was called Burger Swap, if I'm not mistaken, and around 20 more. They all got flash loan. The projects tanked so hard, and it was happening from the old version of Pancake Swap. So some people forked the old version of Pancake Swap, and that one where the people were. That's why we had after that other version of Pancake Swap, because that's the DeFi, right? So yeah, I lost all this money and then within 6 hours while I'm sleeping. So, and I woke
Wow.
up that day. I didn't even know I lost. So I woke up, I found like 300,000 messages on Telegram. And I'm reading, ding, 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 all red, red, like, what the fuck is this? Someone telling me, what's happening? What's happening? We got scammed from this project. We got scammed. I'm like, I'm reading all this shit. It doesn't make sense. Then I got afraid. Shit, I got also rugged. So I checked. I opened my Trust wallet. I don't remember. I don't forget that day. I opened Trust wallet to check one of the tokens, right? Then I'm checking the numbers of the token quantity is the same, but then the value is like almost zero. I'm like, Then I stopped to check again. Then I went to MetaMask. I saw like the same number of token quantity, but the value is zero. And then I remember that they start opening. Then I found a chat between one of the ex-employee of BNB chain. He told me, Elja, how are you? Blah blah. There is flash loan happening. I'm like, oh shit. At that time, I heard about flash loan, but at that time, I learned what is flash loan because you learn it heavy, right? Sometimes they say if the information in front of you, you will not learn. Only when you need to learn, you will learn. So yeah, I understood exactly what flash loan, and then yeah, all these tokens had to survive. They couldn't survive, so of course they died, and the money went kabush. But I at
Uh,
that day I was very sad, but I was not dark because again I always say life is a journey, and what is most important thing is to always every night before you go to bed try to make something beautiful for someone, even if you smile to someone, even if you give a flower, even if you feed a cat on the street. This is the most important thing. This is what you're gonna stay with you. Nothing else is gonna stay. It doesn't mean you don't need to fight for life. Of course you need to fight. Of course you must make money because when you have the money is where you can participate more, but do more good things, build a legacy. So I want to have a legacy in my life. Till now I'm fighting for my legacy because I didn't have it yet, and I want to have the legacy. And I want to have more and more money because I want to do more and more good things. Not to have more and more money to have a private jet. I always fly with a, not always, 99% of the time I fly economy class. I just pay 100 and I put the extra leg, the first seat, because the extra money you can do something good to someone, right? And that's what I always even tell people. I don't know if you know me, like in Dubai, I go, there's a place in Ajman, I go for cat shelter. I try to do, as much as I can for the human. Alhamdulillah, and everyone needs to do that. Even if you don't have money, if you smile to someone, it's enough. That's the most legacy you can do before you sleep. Try and trust me. If you do that, God will give you a lot of things in return, from happiness, from financial, from everything. You have to believe in God. How simple is that? It can be.
uh, I don't think any other episode has made me emotional. I've had some of the amazing conversations, right?
Alhamdulillah.
But this conversation has made me emotional. Uh, and the reason being because I can understand to a certain extent of losing majority of your capital uh, to almost nothing, right? Losing $90 million and still staying sane that you are. And it's clearly because of what you believe in, and what you believe in is clearly seen because I'm sure that majority of the men or women would have lost it, would have lost their mind, would have lost their mental well-being. Absolutely. uh, but this is like legendary what
Just
you
to
have
answer you,
done.
Ali, Habib, I don't think what I'm saying is legendary or whatsoever. I think we just, as a human nature, we forgot that we are humans. And the nature of human is usually beautiful. The problem, we just allowed the social media, we allowed the too much fake LARPing, we allowed all this to become a part of our mindset. And the problem, this what will make you die very early. Because if you are too much hungry, it means you're just hungry. You don't even know what you want. So that's why I've seen many people who have money and they are still not happy and they want to make more money. And they want to make, okay, till when, bro? At the end, you're going to fucking die. There is nothing gold you're going to stay. You're not going to take any. I always say life is like a game, right? Today, when you play a game, let's say you play whatever, FIFA or whatsoever, right? When you close the game, you're not taking the ball with you. You're not taking the game with you. The same if you bought a house now, if you bought a car, when you die, you're going to take them with you. It's done. The same as people telling me, Elja, why you're not married? Why don't you have kids? It's your legacy. I told them, dude, you remember even your grandfather, dad, his face? Do you even know what his name? Do you know what he liked to eat? Your grandfather, he had his babies because he want to keep his legacy and his bloodline. Bro, no one even fucking know who you are. Do you know your grandfather name, or what he was doing, or what his eyes coloring? You don't know anything, bro. It's all stereotype. If you have something and you want to have babies, there are so many babies around the world. They have no parents. Go support them. I mean, of course, if you want to have your own, have them, but don't put this stereotype that I want to keep my legacy. It's bullshit. We are living in a big stereotype, but life is just a game.
Life is just a game, and I don't think I can end this conversation on a better note because we started off from Binance, and that is why I don't like to keep a structure to these live streams and to most
Yeah,
of
but
my
I thought you're
podcast
gonna speak about
conversations.
AI. I thought you're gonna speak about AI. We didn't even mention AI
Man,
at all.
was this conversation better than talking about AI? Tell me that now.
Both. I mean, let's talk very fast about AI to
Okay,
close it up.
let's.
AI.
What is your current stack on AI? How many tools are you using? Tell us that.
I use almost every tool. I'm now with some Japanese friends as well. We are working in something very unique. We are almost done. We're working almost a year on it, and this is the first AI infrastructure for AI agents network. Means we have seen Reddit, blah 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 blah, and we have seen AI speak to AI and or AI hiring a human, right? But have we seen? I don't know. Do you have an agent for you or not, Ali?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, you have an agent. I have an agent, but till now we didn't see a place where our two agents can speak together, negotiate together, execute together, and finish everything.
That is the future.
Yeah, I mean, we are, alhamdulillah, we are khalas, almost done, but I don't think we will see the result of something like this before 2 years from now, till everyone have his own AI agent, and then this is becoming an issue to them.
So let me tell you. Yesterday I had, in fact, somebody gave you your salam Mo from Annie Mocha Mines, the
Ah,
one who
nice,
lives in
nice, nice.
London. So we had him on yesterday, and we were talking about use cases of AI. And the person who introduced me to agentic AI and guided me, like I asked that person the most silliest and the most stupid questions. Was Yatsu, okay, for Annie Mocha Minds, and agents to agents have already started talking, but may not be to the extent that we would like. For example, Mo has an EA called Joanne, which actually, while he was moderating Proof of Talk in Paris, actually emailed to all the speakers and to the EAs and took in the talking points, inputs, and prepared everything. So
But
imagine if
that's
there
but
was
that's that's AI to human. This is already we have it. Now he
no.
needs to train his AI model to human. But for an example, I'll give you an example. Let's say Tinder. You know Tinder for dating. Your wife don't hear
No,
this. I'm just
no,
giving.
no. I don't
I'm
know.
just,
You are single. I'm not. And also just FYI, Tinder doesn't work in the UAE.
I'm just giving an example of Tinder today. Just an easy example, so the listener can understand what do I mean by AI to AI agent. They're executing everything. Today, let's
And
say you
and
have.
and and
Mm,
and also thank you for not mentioning Grinder but Tinder.
yeah, yeah. But anyways, let's go to the topic. Today, let's say we have this AI agent, the network I'm telling you about. Today, I will just have my AI agent and he will know what is the preference I like in any girl, right? And the lady will say what is her preference that she like on every man in details, right? Then I don't need to swap. I don't the AI will swap, her AI will swap, they will talk to each other to know, like he's talking about me, and then at the end they'll tell me, we found your match finally. She's like you, she like cats, she like to build, she's an entrepreneur, and you don't need to spend all this time anymore. Till today, we don't have this type of models. They cannot execute financially as well. They cannot negotiate. Why do I need to come to you today? You're selling. let's say you're doing your show for let's say $100,000 per episode, just an example. You didn't
No,
need to
no,
go and
that
pitch
is
everyone.
the numbers are true.
The real value. Yes, exactly. So today, one like me, I have my AI agent. He will speak to your AI agent, right? I have my boundary limits. You have your boundary limits. They will speak and they will shoot and they will pay you based on that. And then just to know, okay, this got booked this day. You paid like this. It already got executed because you can actually, I don't know if you know that or not. With Stripe, you can now create your AI agent credit card or wallet to spend from. So yeah, life is going very fast.
Absolutely. And what is something you are very excited about in the space of AI, other than agents talking to each other on Tinder, which I think you have built it for your own personal purpose, which will now
Gold,
serve a global
the
purpose.
world. No, I
What?
mean, I just gave an example easy for people, but
Yeah.
it will
No,
be
of course, of
very
course.
good, and it will be very good in also politics. It will be very good in negotiation pricing. It will be very good in innovating technologies or innovating ideas or innovating things without the let's say money forcing let's say a certain agenda, even in fashion or even whatsoever. But I'm more into, like, now I'm really looking as well into cybersecurity and data centers, and that's where Time Guardian plays a big role in that with data center. Uh, I'm more into these things, and I'm more into space. So now I'm also looking into companies in space, where I'm in talk with company that also doing something related to the moon. I cannot really share a lot, but I believe in I'm always running into something new, right? For me, crypto becoming a bit old now, like for my grandfather.
So, since you mentioned the space, I'm a firm believer that very soon we would be, staying in Mars because,
I don't. That's see. That's a correction here. I don't
okay,
believe Mars is the destination. I believe Moon is the destination, not Mars. And time will prove you. I hope this will be recorded today. What is today? July
this is this
14,
is recorded. This is
2026.
recorded.
Yes. I believe the destination was never Mars. The destination is Moon, and soon we will see.
But
When I say soon, a
but in
couple
terms
years
of
now.
water, in terms of gravity, there are so many flaws, right, in Moon compared to Mars.
The best planet for us to live in is never Mars. It's Moon, and the
Moon is a star, but then how.
you don't
Tell
care
me,
about
okay,
star or not. That's the agenda. You don't care about star or not. You care
true, true,
where
true.
people
Now,
can find another
tell
place that
me.
is near to Earth.
Oh yeah, yes, I totally agree with you on that. We want it to be close, but now you have opened a complete different wormhole altogether. Why Moon? Like, because what we know, as what we have read, is the gravity is 1.5 times lesser than on Earth. This is like driving from left hand drive to right hand drive. It's going to be a major chaos.
It will not. Trust me. Moon. Forget about what you read, etc. Moon is the, again, in my humble opinion, which we gonna see in next coming years. It is the most planet that actually visible to live for the condition of the human, from destination, from the type of environment, from the land itself. Moon is there are things I cannot really share too much, but what I can say, Mars was never the destination. Moon is the destination, and we will see that in the coming years from now.
Wow, what a breaking insight we have had from Elja.
It's not
My last
inside.
question.
It's me though, but we will see.
Yeah, 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 yeah. No,
Yeah.
see, I'll tell you. The idea of doing these live streams is to talk about the future of money, right? And where you're possibly going to stay is also a part of that. Whether you're going to be living in Dubai, Mars, India, or Moon for that matter. Uh, that is the future, and that is the reason why we bring in the best people in the world, like yourself, Elja, where we
I'm not
we
the
have
best.
these.
I'm a
Uh,
normal guy.
yeah, I will take that, write it down, and then burn that paper. But uh, my last few questions: where in crypto do we have the next multi-bagger? don't know why I'm talking like a trade fi guy, but RWA stable coins. Where do you see the magic right now?
No, stable coins are too much used.
Yeah.
Even cross border is also something that many people are doing. I believe today are the AI infrastructure, AI enterprise solutions. That's fucking too much money there. But it's really hard to enter if you have no enterprise connections, right?
No,
What is also
which I think OpenAI is working on, where they're charging I think $4 million to come in with the best engineers and turn your entire workflow uh, on agents. But
uh,
not everybody can afford the
yes.
$4 million.
Yes, no, not, that's why there are companies. If you went to a specific field and you became the goat of that field, you can make an easy enter barrier. You make a SaaS model, and you help because till now Web2 needs a lot of AI infrastructure
Yeah.
tools and easy barrier to enter. What also is good is data center. That's why Time Guardian is my top of the list. Cybersecurity is a very very big thing today. Defense also is a big sector for investors, but it's not too much related to crypto. Um, what is more related to crypto is, as I told you, maybe AI infrastructure, not normal AI infrastructure, AI enterprise solutions, data center, because you can use empower the blockchain, cross-border payments, but it's too much diluted because there are so many cards, so many things left and right today, where they are fighting in the same user base, which is the crypto user, which is not really much you can capitalize on. Of course, late and last, in my humble opinion, is RWAs because it's easy to claim RWA, but till now we don't feel it. Like we are in the space how many years now? We heard the word RWA till, and we've seen it a lot, but we've never really witnessed real RWAs. So I think it's more of a word than we see. We're gonna see it, of course. I'm not saying it's bullshit, but
What
I
is the
think we are a
biggest
bit
problem
early.
in RWA? Because the only thing that you mentioned relating to crypto is RWA. With agentic AI, now Visa coming in, crypto is kind of wobbly there. But since you mentioned RWA, I personally see the biggest challenge is an established marketplace where people actually come and they say, you know what, I have $100. Should I buy a tokenized ship? Should I buy a tokenized real estate? Should I buy a tokenized IP? I personally see a marketplace being the biggest challenge. What is the biggest challenge that you see in the space
Regulations,
of RWA?
regulations.
But in UAE, we have already had, I think, about 200 million or 2 billion, forgetting the number, worth of real estate already been tokenized. UAE is always hands on in terms of regulation. We know multiple projects who are going hands on. But then around the world also, which is like we can talk about Stellar, we can talk about Bricken, but then there is no major uh, platform where I can actually go and I can buy
Okay,
stuff.
you just answered it. Regulations, because you need to unify regulations to have a global acceptance. It doesn't mean you have a license, let's say in US, it means you can operate in Mecca, which is
Yeah.
Europe. Like, so you need to have a unified, a certain unified, let's say, regulation for a marketplace, that there is a set of rules to be able to put or to list your asset, like tokenize assets, uh, tokenize the lands whatsoever. Need to be a more formal accepted list by regulatory, global regulatory, let's say. It's like a common thing. And then, of course, it's going to change from every jurisdiction to other one. But till now, we don't see it in established yet because it's more of a buzz than, like, if you told me, you told me here, US, blah, blah. Have you yourself invested in tokenized assets so far?
Yeah.
Which one?
I have tokenized in a couple of real estates, uh, about 500, $600, just to see how it
Are
works.
you getting dividends out of them?
No, no.
Okay. If it's more, because see, one of the things, for an example, just since we are talking about this, I'm just giving you an example.
Sure, sure.
Today, we cannot tokenize off-land lands. Why? Because when you have the off-land, the problem, the money that people will invest while the building still not live, so it's not functioning, right? This money you cannot, as a platform, generate yield on DeFi. This money must be deposited in the bank, and there is no yield on this money. So today, as an individual or as a retailer, are you willing to invest in an off-land uh, building or apartment or whatsoever, that the handover will be like 3 years from now and your money gonna get stuck for almost 3 years because it's being secured? Of course, they're doing it to protect the individuals. They're not doing it because blah blah, because yes, there is a risk. You might take the money while the building is there and then you put it in a protocol to generate, I don't know, 10, 15, 20% yield, but then also you can get hacked and you lose the money of the investors. And then the tower is not built, right? And the users or the retailer lost their money. So till now, this structure is not solved yet. Solve this structure, get this money that's staying like this for God knows how long time. Of course, this money is being pulled out based on deliverables. So when you build like a part of this tower, you can take and then you show and you take and you show, because they are securing the retailers so they don't get scammed, right? But till now, we need to fix the DeFi world where we have, I don't know, maybe we need to have a new methodology where there's an insurance for the money deposited, right? And then you can generate yield. So while you're waiting, you still can make dividends out of this money rather than just keeping it closed. So there are some quiet challenges. That's one thing. It's a bit early because regulations and DeFi need to be more formalized in a certain extent.
Great. Last quick question is that there are a lot of founders who perhaps want you to mentor them. They want you to advise them. And I'm sure you don't have the time for every buddy, but what is some piece of advice you give to your founders who are trying to explore either in Web3, Web 2.5, or agentic AI? What is something that you always want to tell them in the first meeting?
Number one, if you're passionate about idea, don't be passionate about it. You have now tools like AI. You need to understand the most important question: does this idea solve a problem? Yes or no? Number two, this idea has the potential to generate $1 billion revenue, not valuation, revenue. And I say has the potential. It doesn't mean it will happen. I'm saying there is a potential, yes or no. It means if there is a potential, it's great. Means you don't need to reach it. Actually, you want to reach it, but at least the investors will know that they are not entering some. Because if you say, if a VC studied a business and they know the current potential of revenue will be, let's say, 50 million, it means you might not even get a million. But if the potential of this industry generates a $1 billion revenue, it means me as an investor, I know it can go to 50 to 100 million. So it's still profitable for me, right? Of course, my goal to go a billion and plus, but at least you are not wasting your time or the investor time, or uh, because there is a concept like I am a founder. It's okay for me to fail. This is bullshit, bro. Like this is bullshit. You should not have that intention, right? So you see this the market, you solve a problem, there's a potential of $1 billion. And the most important thing, are you dedicated like Chinese ethics to work 24 hours to make this succeed? Because I found many founders recently using the vibe coding or whatever, they are just finding a way where they still can have a salary and have on top of that an equity, and don't have a boss. So they can travel, they can come to the office, whatever they want. And that's a very shitty narrative today happening a lot. This doesn't mean you want to be a founder. It means you're just gonna have a salary on top of that equity, and you don't need to work because you're not gonna have a boss anymore. That's so bad. And now VCs are looking into that. So be sure you're actually dedicated to it. It's not like Because if you're a real founder, trust me, you're gonna work more than an employee. But now you're working for your own shit. I'm quite sure Ali, you understand that. Ali is a hustler himself.
No, I absolutely understand that, and I've always said this. Excuse me. Uh,
يرحمكم الله.
Alhamdulillah. Uh, I've always said this is that you need to treat your investors' money like your own money, because back in the day in India we never had a VC or somebody would give you an angel investment. You would actually take your mother's jewelry and pawn it, or your wife's jewelry, and then start a business. And the stress, the hustle is all real there. And I personally come from that mindset, because you need to treat every dollar, every rupee, every dirham, because it has a purpose to it, and you need to make sure that you respect everybody's money that is coming in, because if you don't make money for your investors, you are not going to be able to perhaps leave a legacy. But I think, no, not even leave a legacy, you're not going to do justice, because Elja and I both have seen founders raising money, taking up a flat in DIFC Marina or Jumeirah, and living a great life in the name of networking. Networking is something that you do on ground. You go to events, you meet people, you talk to them, you connect with them, you meet them out for coffee, you ask them questions, and that is how you actually build a network, not by inviting people into your beautiful houses for a party. That's good, but that's not scalable. Like how Elja a while ago said that, when people know you from what you haven't, or what you are right now, is where the real relationship is, right? It is very
Very true.
easy for me to say, hey, Elja, oh, he's a very good friend of mine. But then only if I would have known Elja from the time when he was actually hustling, perhaps the value of this relationship would have been much deeper. But I do believe that the connection
I'm a
that we
still,
have,
trust me, I'm a still hustler. Yeah, I work every day. I work 24 hours, so it didn't
that's the
change.
that's the way to be. So, brother Elja, thank you so much. What a
Thank you for
lovely
having me.
hour, 16 minutes that we have spent together on this epic day where Binance is turning a 9. We have had some of the amazing conversations, and you almost made me cry. So I'm going to hold you responsible for this. I've never teared up in a live stream. I have teared up in my real life, and otherwise, but then on a live stream, never, because I'm the guy who always brings in the energy. And glad that we have
Yeah, you're
Elja.
always. That's true.
Thank you. Thank you. Please follow
Thank
Elja
you.
on Twitter. Elja Boom is his ID. And go ahead and show some love to Binance. They're celebrating their 9 years. And Elja, one more time, a very big thank you for this conversation. I will call you up and uh, tell you a couple of things that I don't want to abuse in the live stream. But thank you.
Definitely.
Thank you so much, Elja.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me. Have a good day, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.